Hi, you're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 12. I'm Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Spencer Valadez.
And I'm Sean Roof.
Yay, Sean's here!
Yay!
So alright, so Webcomic of the Week returns this episode.
Yeah.
And this week, we're the one that I found was, and apparently I must be the last person on Earth to know about this, but it's called Battlepug. And it's think the story of Conan you remember from the movie. Okay, you know, the village is destroyed, and and then he's enslaved, and yada yada. Okay,
right.
All that. Think of that. Only it's an Eskimo kid whose village is destroyed by a giant seal, and then he's rescued and enslaved by Santa's elves.
Okay.
And then he frees himself or something like that, or he's let free. I can't remember how that goes, but anyway, it's like basically think Conan with a giant pug dog,
right?
Companion that he rides or whatever. It's funny.
Awesome.
I would say it falls somewhere between The Goon and Axe Cop as far as tone.
Okay.
It is a humor book. It's definitely a spoof.
You gotta be a pug dog.
Yeah.
Gotta love the pugs.
Yeah, so Battlepug, you can find that it's real easy. It's battlepug.com. And Dark Horse Comics has just released a nice little hardcover edition collecting some of Battlepug, and I think they'll continue. I guess it's a pretty popular webcomic.
Yeah.
I'm such a square that I didn't know about it beforehand, but yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't think we have a major topic of discussion for this week other than just the books we've been reading.
Right. I think we're kind of in that phase between Spider-Man coming out and Batman coming out.
Yes.
So there's not like a major topic that we want to jump into because
it's Sweeps Week here on Comic Reflections. So, do they do sweeps? Is it a week or is it just like that's what they call the summertime for TV?
I think it's just the summertime.
I don't know. So yeah.
I just laughed.
Yeah, like, you don't know what I mean. Sean, you had so much to our show. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I know, right?
Yeah.
Stupid beard.
Yep, my stupid beard.
He's a hipster. Like, he's so Portland, but he looks... I mean, he's from California, but he's like, he was born to live in Portland.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so... And I mean the real kind of... The cool hipster.
Not the douchebag hipster.
Not the poser hipster,
Hopefully.
Not the pretentious one. Sean's just cool. So, but, yeah, what do... Okay. Yeah, what books did we pick up this week that we can spoil for Sean?
Yeah.
No.
That's fine. I'll read them eventually.
This week we get number 2 in the Minutemen
Limited Series. So the ongoing every week there's a Before Watchmen book coming out, and Minutemen number 2 is coming out, and this has been I've enjoyed them all. This has probably been my favorite series of them. I just love that Darwin Cook art, and I think because in the original Watchmen, we were only kind of teased with the Minutemen characters as kind of just a little background, and this is we're finally getting to get into their exploits, and it's great.
The Under the Hood was by far some of my favorite reading in the Watchmen. Yeah, and so getting to come back and see how they've not strayed really from that story. They're keeping it consistent.
They have been very good.
Yeah.
Very good about just... This is building, not taking away. This is not altering anything. This is just give layers of the onion, man.
Yeah.
And I'm digging it.
Yeah. We have a story for... each character gets their own little, not bio, but, their own scene.
Everybody gets a little... screen time, so to speak.
Yeah, that's what I was for screen time.
Except that I don't want to start using that term though. But yeah, and it's good. I mean,
time.
And as framed by Hollis Mason talking about Under the Hood as it's coming out, and we're getting these recollections, it's great.
Yeah,
it's all told in flashback, and
I mean the auditions for
the Minutemen,
Minutemen was just funny. And we're introduced to at least one new character, Mothman.
Well, I mean, no, Mothman was in the originals.
Right, but I mean...
Oh, he hadn't been in the previous issue, right.
And so...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Why
sorry.
I mentioned... Anyway.
Well, he was mentioned in Watchmen too.
Well, right, but I remember. I think he was in the previous issue.
Oh, okay.
At least a little. But I like the dynamic of there's this kind of tension in the group because, there's their manager Larry Schecksnyder. I'm butchering that, but who's like trying to get them, these high profile publicity type of things.
Right.
And it's that kind of mentality is kind of taking away from the intent of the group members who are really in this to pursue justice and fight crime.
Right.
So yeah.
So
I like that. It's cool.
If you're not picking these up, go grab them.
Stop being a square.
Yes.
Yeah. I picked them up a long time ago.
So we're going to move on to the Batman number 11.
Yeah, and this is the last part of the end of the Court of Owls storyline that's been going. That unfortunately we jumped in with the last issue.
Right.
The previous issue.
This is the epic finale of the Court of Owls.
So this is Batman number 11.
And I mean, if you remember, we have the
what was his name? March.
Yeah, Lincoln March.
Lincoln March. Thank you.
Yeah.
Is revealed in the previous issue that he was the son of Thomas and Martha Wayne or whatever.
Right.
Well, the plot thickens, and this was a really excellent read.
Oh yeah. I
mean, the other one was too, but that was confused, and now I have some frame of reference.
I love when we see vulnerable heroes, and I mean, Batman is just being thrashed throughout this.
He is.
And not that I love watching Batman get just
But
beat
here's
up.
the thing. He should be fallible.
Yes.
And it seems like the New 52 has done Batman in a way it's like, yes, he's great and he's capable of all these things, but he can't do everything.
Right.
And it gives him a more human aspect.
Yes.
It gives him a level of mortality and brings him more down to earth as a millionaire superhero
Right.
playboy can be. But, it works. I mean, I'm liking this. I'm not dropping this book. I mean, I'm looking forward to see what the next story arc's going to be.
And I mean,
I might have to start picking up Detective Comics too. I'm not sure.
I mean, there's like what you said, 13.
I think there's something like a dozen in the Batman family, and that's including like Birds of Prey and Catwoman and Batgirl, all those, and the whatever Jason Todd's book is.
Nightwing.
No, Jason Todd. Nightwing is Dick.
Oh yeah.
It's Red Hood and the somethings. I don't know. I'm not familiar with every title that's going on right now, but
the thing I liked about this is that at the end of each major story, there's the fall of House of Wayne.
Yeah, we have this backup feature, and I'm assuming it ran throughout the Court of Owls storyline. I like DC giving up backup features. I like getting little preview pages of other titles. This is a good selling point.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's especially nice if the preview book pages aren't the same. Like if it's a preview for another book, you didn't pick up 3 titles with that same pages in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
so we get the
Valiant, but that's okay. We'll talk about that in a minute.
So this one we have the House of Wayne. Mm-hmm. And then we have the Shazam story in Justice League.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just hooks that really get you.
Now, this Fall of the House of Wayne's thing is really good, and it's really helped give a little context to this Court of Owls thing, because we've only read the last 2 parts.
Right.
But now I feel like I have a firm... it's almost like I read the whole thing. I kind of get a really strong grasp of this.
And I mean,
Hey, the ice cream man's come by. Hear that?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if our listeners can hear that. Oh, well.
And so at the end we get this great dialogue between Alfred and Bruce.
Yeah.
And
very cool.
They are family to each other. It's not a. I mean, yes, he's the butler and he cleans,
right,
but they are family, and there's nothing that'll come between them. Even if this darkness comes out, that they'll still have each other.
Right.
And it's just great.
Right. Louise.
Right.
Oh my god.
So pick it up. It's out this week. It was new this week, right?
Yes, it was new this week.
So we can jump on to.
We picked up no Marvel books this week.
We didn't.
I tried so hard to find one, but there was nothing that I hadn't been already.
Right.
That I'm already reading that was coming out, and nothing that was out that was like that wasn't like mid arc. I'm like .
There was a Cap book that
And I'm like, and Brubaker's run is ending because they got that Marvel Now thing starting in October.
Oh, okay.
Where a number of books are going to end and get new number ones and new creative team, and I'm like,
okay.
But they're trying to do a new 52, but they're doing it real. It's a soft reboot because there's no continuity shift.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, it's so cowardly. It's like we want to do something DC's doing, and has done successfully.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, it's got people talking.
Right.
And people buying books, but they can't commit, and it sucks. When I was a kid, I loved Marvel Comics. I would not read DC.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, well, you know, the occasional DC book fell into my lap.
Right.
But, I mean, 99% of my books when I was a kid were Marvel books, and I loved all of them. But, I mean, because they seem to be just better comics, but it seems like...
So the last few years have been kind of disappointing for you, would you say?
I think Marvel and DC they go back and forth.
Uh-huh.
You know, and to be fair, Marvel has done some strong things in the past few years. I lean on, you know, Civil War, House of M, Secret Invasion. I enjoy those. But I think, for instance, like what they're doing now, the Avengers vs. X-Men,
right.
which is totally changing things into suckiness. Like one of the new books in the Marvel now is going to be the Uncanny Avengers. It's like an Avengers X-Men like team up book.
Oh.
Or something, or it's
fighting,
but it's an ongoing. Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna resolve it or something. I don't know.
We're just gonna hug and make up, or
yeah. Well, I mean, it just seems like more crap. I mean, there's gonna be a new X-Men book that Neil Adams is gonna be working on, and I don't even know if I want it.
Oh.
Even though, I mean, because you know what, I'm like, I don't want to buy X-Men.
Yeah.
Even if Neil Adams is doing it, you know.
X-Men.
Seriously. So, but I don't know. And end of rant.
The next book we picked up was The Flash, number 10. It came out new today. No?
No, I think this is a couple weeks old.
Oh.
But I think next week the new issue of The Flash is coming out, and I'm like, I've been wanting to read The Flash. This was there.
Yeah, this seems like an arc ending kind of book.
But it wasn't. I read this and I wasn't lost.
No.
You can't. The guy who's writing it, Francis Manapul.
Yeah,
I want to say. So. Who is new to me, and that's okay. Yeah. He's written in a way like when I used to read an old Marvel book when I was a kid. You could come in at any point in an arc, and you'd always at the beginning of the issue would kind of recap a little bit where you're at, so you wouldn't be totally lost.
Right.
This guy seems to come from the Marvel way of script writing, and he wrote The Flash the Marvel way, or the classic Marvel Comics way, and I liked it. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I mean, we got the Weather Wizard, and you know, things are different, but sometimes change is good.
I agree. I didn't feel very very lost at all, because we do get this great, you know.
Yeah, even though we're
2 years ago flashback.
Yeah, and we are being introduced to new surroundings. It's a different central city, different kind of setup with Iris and everything. Mm-hmm. So it's okay.
Yeah,
I'm liking it. The only thing is, and I think other people have complained about this, the redesigns on the new 52 costumes for many people, including the Flash. Why are these extra lines in the costume? It's like, sometimes it's just like, come on, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, watch your mouth.
I'm just talking about Flash.
This Flash, I mean, he looks similar. There are a few extra lines here. The Guy Garrett Flash, or the
Jay Garrick?
Jay Garrick.
Over in Earth 2.
Yeah, his is completely different.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're kind of got the colander on the head thing again.
Yeah.
And remember Sean Wynn from Things was saying, like, yeah, the chin strap makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, like, how does it keep from falling off his head? So,
right.
It's cool.
And so I think they were just going for a look that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know, because a lot of Golden Age stuff, it's like, huh?
Yeah.
So it's like they're reintroducing the JSA characters over in Earth 2. I thought we were talking about the Flash book. We're talking about Earth 2. It's fine. But I think they're doing origins that seem to be a little more like make a little more sense even in a science fiction kind of realm. Yeah. Other ones are like kind of weird. They're like, what? You just have to look past the origin for a lot of Golden Age superheroes. So,
but back to
but the Flash.
Flash. Barry Allen, he's dealing with whether or not he should tell
his current love interest. It's this chick. I guess Iris has died.
Yes,
Iris is dead already. So
or she was sent back in time.
Oh,
or something.
It's probably has something to do with Professor Zoom.
Yeah,
it always does. So okay.
So he could go back and get her, but he shouldn't because it would mess up space-time continuity.
Yeah, this is a Flash who's just like, gosh, he just doesn't. He won't. He's too worried about what other people are gonna think, instead of doing some things that are right in his heart. You know what I mean? Like, okay. It's okay to do what's right for you. That's not being bad. It's not being the bad guy.
Right. Although bad guys do play off of that a lot.
Well, right. But here's the thing. Disrupting the time stream. If Iris was from our timeline anyway...
She's messing it up.
It's messing up by her being back in time. So, and the current love interest, he's like, oh, I can't tell I'm a Flash because she thinks that I'm dead, Barry's dead, and if I, all this, it's like she needs closure and move on. It's I must always be alone because I have to just be the Flash.
Right.
That cliche, I guess, of comics.
Cliche.
It wasn't the word I was looking for.
Not just comics, though. I mean, I feel like a lot of...
You'll see a lot of those things. A lot of hero-type things, like, if the sacrifice is I must be alone. And it's like... And it's sad, Barry, but of course no grim broodingness. It's not...
Right.
You can never be Flash or dark with the Flash, the character, and I'm glad. You shouldn't be. You should be a little bit lighthearted, but... So I buy this Barry Allen because he seems like a younger Barry than the Silver Age version.
Yeah.
Pre-crisis, I should say. Come on, be correct. But yeah. So I don't know. It's good. I'm gonna pick up the next one. So yeah.
And if you don't, I will.
There you go. Yeah.
I liked it. So yeah, we are gonna move out of DC. And we're going to jump into...
Is that all our DC books for this week?
No, we have a couple more. But we are going to jump into Valiant.
You want to dig into these Valiant books. Okay. Yeah. Valiant Comics, a company that I shunned when they came around in the 90s, they've come back with art that's worth looking at, and the stories are good.
Yeah. We're going to start with Bloodshot #1, which I haven't read.
You haven't read it.
You did read.
I did.
How did you feel about it?
I like it. I think the spirit... I mean, I had only read a couple of the old Bloodshots anyway.
Okay.
But the spirit of it is retained. I mean, there's a couple of differences, I think, but it's cool. I mean, he's kind of think the Punisher, but if the Punisher was like a Black Ops agent whose blood had been replaced with like nanite technology, so to make him basically kind of like sort of immortal, or sort of like,
cool,
heals quick and resilient and kind of, it's interesting.
Yeah,
I like it. I mean, it'll be interesting to hear your thoughts once you've read that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to get your point of view going, because I know I gave you the original Bloodshot.
You did.
#1.
Yeah.
Read those side by side and kind of get it.
That's a cool holographic.
Yeah, they did a lot of those chrome weird covers in the 90s. The only remnant we have left of that, thank God, is just the variant covers thing that comes out, and that's okay. Yeah. Except sometimes the variant covers like I'm late in getting that book, and it's the lame cover.
Yeah.
It's either sometimes the variant is extra $1 and here's in this section, or it's just cover B and it's behind the whatever, and it's the last one on the shelf. So, but what can you do?
Should our readers pick it up?
Yeah.
Or listeners?
I got the variant cover too. It was the last one. But I mean, whatever. Both covers were cool. Yeah, I think it's good. I think this Valiant relaunch has been cool.
Yeah.
We've been reading Harbinger.
Yes.
Which we should talk about that one next too. I mean, because Harbinger #2 came out today.
It did.
And we're getting more into. I mean, I've read some of the original Harbinger books, and it's a neat concept.
Yeah, you let me borrow a few, and I'm gonna jump into them.
I actually gave those to you.
Oh, okay.
Them I read them. I'm done.
Well, thank you.
Sure. But those were to keep. But yeah, I like this. You know, Peter Stanchek, who was one of the our POV character in the original Harbinger. We're seeing this again. I didn't read the original Harbingers from start to finish, so I can't see them side by side. But we got Toyo Harada, the Harbinger Corporation, familiar elements.
Right.
It's Harbingers, and like in the original series, they're basically metahumans of varying degrees, okay? And they're rare. I'm using the DC comics where mutants or metahumans, whatever,
right.
okay? But the people with superpowers, and they're rare. And the rarest are like these psionics, telepaths, they got all the different things. And Peter Stanchek, our POV character, is one.
He lets loose in this.
He does, and we don't want to spoil it, but
no,
especially for Sean.
Yeah, but it's a very good issue. I'm gonna keep reading this book. I'm hooked on these new Valiant books. I mean,
we were kind of debating whether we should pick one up, and I kind of.
Yeah, we kind of missed the boat because Exo Manowar had come out first,
right?
And we missed the first couple issues. I've got those coming.
Awesome.
So I got the hookup. But and then next week number 3 of that comes out. So
okay.
So we're catching up. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about this. It's a company that I didn't like at all before.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the new look and the feel of these. They read like New 52 books.
Yeah.
They really do.
They make you care about who you're reading about.
Yeah, it's almost like Valiant's like almost like mirrored what DC is doing, like, because what DC is doing is working really well.
Oh yeah. Why not try to do something like that?
And
Marvel.
yeah, and they had the balls, like they had nothing to lose because they were.
Yeah.
This is their relaunch. They had been they floundered for a long time. I think it's the right gamble, and I think it's gonna pay off. I'm digging it. I'm
good for them.
Yeah.
Our next book is a Dark Horse.
Yeah.
It's Baltimore.
Yeah, I read this one.
You did?
Yeah.
Awesome. It's
Lord Baltimore. He's like I read a couple issues here and there of this guy previously. There's only been 11 books so far.
Right.
Just featuring him. So.
This is Baltimore 1 of 2, and it's from the Dr. Lescovar's Remedy.
Yeah, that's the limited series. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean,
he's like a nobleman and he's a monster hunter and
I mean, he crash lands in Croatia. To start off, and so
So I guess in the previous story arc, he must have had this. He talks about he has this crate that had an egg in it that he didn't open, and it hatched and there was a monster in it.
Right.
So he crashed on the coast of Croatia.
Yeah.
And in an old biplane.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like 1915 or something.
Yeah.
1917.
17.
Yeah. So, I like this.
Yeah, it was fun. He wakes up in a fishing community that's been driven out of their homes by mutated vampires.
Yeah. And he's done a lot of vampire hunting, but these are all just kind of weird and different. Not all of them. They're not affected by the cross, or they're not afraid of sunlight.
Yeah.
And they're all just kind of weird, different looking. And I like these vampires are not the elegant, like, sparkly, romantic vampires.
Right.
These are like plague rat vampires. They look like monsters.
Yeah.
And that's when I actually care to read a vampire story.
Yeah.
I mean, in the movies, good grief. I never want to see another vampire movie for 20 years. There's just been too much.
I love Buffy. We've discussed that a little bit.
Yeah, I just never got into it.
They're not the prettiest of the vampire genre,
right.
but they're still human. They're still but these guys, I mean, they do look like flying rat bat creatures, and he goes to town on a few, and then he reaches Dr. Lescovar.
Yeah, and I love Mike Mignola. I mean, the guy writes and creates these great horror characters and themes, and he does monsters right. Monsters are always monsters.
Right.
And of course, in the Hellboy books, like, all the heroes are monsters. I'm using air quotes too, or the heroes that are the focal point of those. But good stuff. What a wonderful universe Mignola has created, kind of at Dark Horse with his horror characters and Hellboy and all that.
I've been on a kick of getting outside of the superhero,
and that's good. I mean, we should do that. So
and so with Baltimore, I also have the new Lone Ranger.
Yes, it's starting a new limited series. Yes, what's that series called?
The Snake of Iron.
There's a snake in my poop.
Yeah. Someone's poisoned the water hole. Oh, terrible. But yeah, Dynamite is doing this.
It's a new arc.
We got Jimmy Walker back here.
Crazy references today. Toy Story. And,
good times. All right.
It's a cool story so far. I mean, it's the beginning of a new arc, so there's not a lot of information given.
Yeah.
But Tonto and the Lone Ranger are separated.
Yeah.
Tonto's up north, and the Lone Ranger's in Texas because he's a Texas Ranger.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so he runs into this woman with a spirit horse. We won't give that away.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And Tonto's on the train, which I think is going to be the Snake of Iron. But
I didn't even think about that. Yeah. But here's the thing: the spirit horse is something that's significant to the Indians, and they believe it's their justification to be like raiding,
right?
White settlements and.
I mean, not that they need justification.
Well, right, but and there's a lot of real historical context to talk about. The civilizing of Indians.
Oh yeah,
and
that
just all these.
Nuts.
But it's historically accurate.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
For a fictional piece, I mean, really, the attitudes that they're showing are like whoever's writing this book. Who is writing the book?
It is not on the cover.
Anyway, but
it is Chuck Dixon.
Oh, Chuck Dixon. He's a comic book veteran. I think he's done some Batman and some things.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, dang it! I know his name, but I'm blanking on things specific.
Oh, okay.
But Chuck Dixon, he's a veteran comic writer. So
yeah.
But he's done his research, or he knows his material, because this is good. This isn't hokey. This is I mean, and the fact that we're reading a Western comic.
Yeah.
I would never be like, oh, have you got any Westerns? Like that's not what I gravitate toward. But I've been enjoying these Lone Ranger books that we picked up. Wish we could those other ones that you were looking for of the previous limited series snatched up.
Yeah.
So,
but they have a look into the Prophecy #1. Is that what it was? Prophecy?
Yeah, and I don't know why they're calling it that, because it's the character is Red Sonja. It's not even called Red Sonja Prophecy. It's just called Prophecy.
Yeah, and
I swear I saw a copy of it at the store. It looked like Vampirella was in it.
Oh,
I could be totally wrong. I could have just seen Vampirella next to it, but I could have swear. Anyway.
Yeah, and so I mean, interesting. It didn't hook me like the other ones did.
Yeah.
But it might be something I might pick up. But I'm gonna continue to pick up the Lone Ranger.
Yeah.
I think he's a neat character, and there's Indians in it, so
yes. So bad. So
offensive.
Oh, I know. So you've been wanting to pick up the world's finest book in the New 52,
the Huntress and Power Girl.
And so these characters escaped from Earth 2 at the end of the war with Apocalypse.
Yep.
To Earth 1.
Yes.
So they're on the same Earth as our Justice League.
Yeah.
And then I said earlier, I love how it looks like DC is setting up a pre-crisis kind of continuity where there's an Earth 1 and an Earth 2, and that where Earth 2 has the Justice Society.
They do.
Which is totally happening.
They're building it up.
They totally are building it up. And Earth 1 has the Justice League.
Yeah.
And we couldn't find #1.
We couldn't.
But #3 was new today, I think, and we got #2.
Yes. Yes, it was new today.
So, came in a little lost. They're fighting some guy who I think might have followed them through the boom tube or wherever.
Yeah.
However, they came to Earth 1.
And it talks about kind of, it might be one of the...
might be minions of Darkseid.
Yeah,
I mean,
the the parademons. Is that what they were
called?
Well,
I don't think this guy's a parademon. Right, they were just like the stormtroopers of Darkseid's legions.
Oh, okay.
But this is, I don't know. This guy is new to me.
Yeah. So but he's like fueled off radiation, and he's...
Yeah, I mean, he could have nothing to do with them, or he could have followed them through some other thing. We missed number 1. But it's an interesting story, and we're getting their battle with this guy, and their adjustment to life on Earth 1.
Yeah, because it's not...
a series of flashbacks.
Very different, but there are subtle differences that they're trying to deal with, because it's those subtle things that you don't notice that really kind of jar you.
Yeah. And it's cool. We're getting George Perez art.
Oh yeah.
But the flashbacks are this other artist. I'm not sure who it is, but it kind of works. It works pretty cool. So we've got the main where they're fighting the bad guy, and this cool subplot of like the building up their time. I think it's an interesting way to set the book up.
Yeah.
I wasn't lost. It didn't confuse me. So I'm like, hey, good job. Keep writing that way.
Yeah, I wasn't lost. I mean. I would like
Paul
to
Levitz
know.
Is writing the book. Yeah, he's good.
I would like to know who this creature is. I mean, it's probably not been revealed yet.
Or maybe the first issue was the thing.
Right.
I mean, it says his name and it's something goofy.
Yeah, I think it's Japanese, but
yeah,
I don't want to butcher it to offend anyone. You know.
Whatever. I'm gonna find it. I gotta find that name. But yeah.
He lays into Power Girl, and she's down for the count for Kipple scenes, and Batgirl has to, or excuse me, Huntress.
Yeah, because they were on Earth 2. They were Supergirl and Robin.
And Robin.
Supergirl and Robin.
Yeah.
And then here they come to Earth 1 and they change identities. I don't know why. Oh well, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they have their own Robin here on this Earth already, and so that'd be a bit confusing.
Yeah.
And it would cause some questions, and I don't think they're ready to answer questions just yet. Power Girl is very concerned with getting back to her Earth. And Huntress is, we just have to make do with what we have for right now. And so they're dealing with that, but then they're also having to deal with this crazy radiation eating construct.
Yeah, I mean, this villain, I mean, it's cool. It kind of reminds me, although that's better because it was a crap storyline. Marvel did this thing, The Age of Apocalypse, where they had, it was like I think it ran for a few months. Like all the regular books became different books. Uh-huh. And what it was Professor Xavier's son went back in time to kill Magneto so that Xavier's dream could come to fruition. But he screwed up, and in the conflict, killed Xavier.
Oh.
So the timeline changed, and basically we flash forward to a future where Apocalypse basically rules the world, or at least North America, and all the familiar X-Men characters and all their everything is just thrown wonky.
Oh, wow.
But what this reminds me of that was that when that ended, and they changed that. The correct timeline was restored.
Mm-hmm.
A few characters escaped from that Age of Apocalypse.
Oh.
And one of them was like this guy Holocaust, and he had this like radiation, death, power. I don't know. And that was just a character that I remember from those. But it's stupid.
Oh, okay.
It's just stupid X-Men crap. I think that was probably when I stopped reading comics for a while. That was
really?
Like the last for a few years.
The
and then
last straw.
Well,
X-Men slam.
I think it was when I stopped reading superhero books, at least for a few years, and then I got back into them like at the tail end of high school. So anyway.
But yeah, pick up World's Finest, Huntress and Power Girl. 1, 2, and 3 are out now. And
number 3 is out today.
Yeah, so a couple weeks you'll get another one. But yeah, they're good. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I think we enjoyed
Would you say
them.
that's a book you're going to continue?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
Because I want to know what happens.
Okay. Oh, you're hooked. Okay.
Yeah, so I think the last thing we're going to kind of talk about is what we've read this last week, kind of on our own, not what we picked up from the store this week. I cheated, and I went to Barnes and Noble and sat in their coffee shop and read a couple books.
I noticed you do the hardcovers there because it's not going to break the spine.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. If they don't care.
Oh yeah, no one said anything to me. So, I did read Green Lantern. We've kind of referenced it, not knowing what it's about. But
did you get the name of this trade?
Yeah, it's. Oh, not the name. Sorry. It is Green Lantern.
Okay, and you think it's like the first 6 issues of the current Green Lantern book?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we don't have in our possession, what I don't have.
Yeah.
Everything before that.
Okay. So it definitely filled in. You're up to speed at least with that Lantern title.
And it is excellent.
Yeah. Sinestro is all over the place.
Oh yeah. Okay. He is the main.
It seems like he's really the focal point in that book.
Yeah.
Like more than Hal Jordan.
Definitely, he is.
Or, you know.
He gives. Prior to this book, even.
Yeah.
Hal Jordan has been stripped of his Green Lantern title.
Yeah.
And so that was with the fight against the Yellow Lanterns.
Okay.
I think it was something in that story. He got stripped. The Guardian stripped him of his power ring.
Well, it wouldn't have been after the Sinestro Cold War because I read that.
It wasn't.
No, because then they've got after that you had Brightest Day, which I didn't read, and then and then Blackest Night, and Hal's a Lantern in that. So
okay. At some point he was stripped of his power ring.
Yeah.
By
I thought he gave it up.
The Guardians took it.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
And Sinestro comes and he's like, you know what? I need your help. You were a Lantern. I got my Lantern, my ring back from the Guardians. They gave it to me after the
right.
The
it was
wars.
So weird to see him as a Lantern and realize that the Lantern books are the ones that didn't get rebooted with the New 52.
Yeah.
The continuity remains. So that sounds like what I read. Because when he came to Hal and, you know, and made him go back with him. Even more?
Yeah, there's even before that.
Oh, okay.
Hal, he creates a ring with his own power ring and gives it to Hal.
Yeah.
The ring has all the power that Sinestro wants Hal to have. And so when Hal attacks him, he's not going to do anything.
Oh, how convenient.
He can turn off the power.
And that's in this first story arc?
Yes.
Okay.
He can turn off the power whenever he wants.
So, and then the other issues that we both read, he gives him back a real ring.
No.
No?
It's still the ring that Sinestro gave him. And so he doesn't have a power battery. He doesn't have anything to recharge. And so when he's just Hal Jordan on Earth, when we first pick up those comics, he hasn't had the ring for a while because it's ran out of juice. Okay. Yeah, pretty clever on Sinestro's part.
Yeah, or Jeff John's part.
But we also get a look into what's going on with the Guardians in this book.
Yeah.
And so Ganthet, who is definitely a lover of humanity.
Ganthet is the Guardian he's a boss. Right. You know, he's good.
The Guardian who other Guardians should be like, I would say.
But to them, he's the loose cannon.
Yes.
He's their renegade, you know.
And he is he's corralled in this. The other Guardians mind blast him. I don't know what that was, but they conform his mind to their own.
Okay.
And so either the Guardians' power has just become outrageous and they're just, you know what, we do whatever we want with the Guardians. Or there's something moving in the background and I'm not sure.
Yeah. Difficult to say, really.
Yeah. However, they do say, we are starting this new army. We're going to destroy the Lantern Corps. The Lantern Corps. And then we have to get the...
Now, are they talking about, like breaking up, you know, seeking out and breaking up the other Lantern Corps, blue and the... Because they're not under... they don't answer to the Guardians, the other corps.
No, but they are going to be searching them out, and they're going
to seek out the orange, yellow, sapphire, indigo, and black lanterns.
I believe so.
And red lanterns.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because this
That's pretty ambitious.
Yeah,
especially because they don't. They're going to disband the Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
It's wild. Do they think, oh, we screwed up with the Manhunters?
Yes.
We're not happy with the Lanterns.
Yeah.
Oh, third time must be a charm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet you the new Guardians book is totally feeding into this storyline.
Yes.
I'm sure it's.
Well, it's something.
Sure, isn't Jeff Johns writing all these titles?
I think so.
So I mean, all those are going to inform this. This is going to be big, I think.
Yeah, it was brilliant. They go back to is it Korgar where Sinestro's from? No.
Korgar. That's where Sinestro's from. Okay. Yeah.
They go back and Sinestro and Hal Jordan are going to take on the rest of the Yellow Lanterns because they've.
Oh, that's in that trade you're reading.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They've taken over Korgar.
Oh wow.
And they've just enslaved everyone. And
look familiar, Sinestro?
Yeah. Sinestro's like, look, I put you guys in charge. I didn't put you in charge to enslave everyone.
Yeah.
You gotta stop, or I'm gonna destroy you. He figured out a way to destroy the yellow rings.
Oh, okay.
Because he created them. I think
the Guardians created
them. Guardians. Okay.
Remember, they gave him his original yellow power ring.
Okay. So he's figured out a way to destroy rings.
I loved in the Sinestro Corps War. Spoiler for you.
Right.
The Anti-Monitor is a yellow power ring wielder.
Well, I mean, he causes fear.
Yeah.
And so they have to destroy the
as was Superboy Prime.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So anyway, sorry.
Anyway, they have to destroy the yellow power battery, which is its failsafe is a green power battery. It's weird.
Weird.
Yeah.
And where was the yellow power battery? Was it on
Quard? It was on Korgar.
On Korgar.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the Sinestro Corps. Maybe the Guardians created that original ring, but maybe they weren't running the show of the Sinestro Corps of the Yellow Lanterns.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's been a couple years since I read that story, so.
But yeah, so, I mean, I don't want to give any more away. It's a great story.
It sounds rad.
Do what I did. Go to Barnes & Noble. Take 20 minutes and read it.
Or if you got the dough,
or if you got to go, pick up the trade. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other one I read while I was at Barnes & Noble was the Justice League Origins Volume 1.
And this is the trade of the first 6 issues of the current Justice League title?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And so we get the origin story of Cyborg.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Yeah.
Because the
New 52 origin.
Yeah, the New 52 origin. Sorry. Which is cool. I mean, it's kind of sad at first because his dad doesn't care about him. There's this war coming, and his dad's trying to prepare for it.
Yeah.
And then his dad almost loses his son.
Yeah.
Just a cool story.
Yeah. And then the flip side, as we've been reading the book, he's like totally giving his dad the brush off.
Yeah.
To just kind of get back at him.
Yeah. We start off with Batman and Green Lantern teaming up, which it's not something that you really see because Green Lantern's always kind of giving.
Well,
Batman
in this title, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Batman's like, and he just takes the ring off of Green Lantern's hand.
Oh, he's done that before. I read this story with Kyle Rayner where he did that too.
Oh yeah. He did it, and like Hal's like, "What's going on?" He was like, "I have more focus than you. It's from your focus, right?" He just totally he's the ultimate detective.
Yeah.
Figures him out like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's classic Batman, and
that sounds like Batman.
The mouthy Hal Jordan to Batman is
just,
I love it.
It's a different Hal Jordan. It's okay though. Because there's got to be somebody who's like a little, not hothead, but a little undisciplined in the league. Yeah. And I'm glad it's not Flash this time. Flash there's a different dynamic, even though he and Hal are pretty buddy-buddy.
Yeah, and the one of the first thing that Hal does is call up Flash, and it's like, "Hey, I need you. I need your help. I can't leave right now. I'm looking for the Flash."
Yeah.
I'm a cop. I gotta do what I gotta do. Mm-hmm. And I was like, no, we need you here.
Yeah.
And so he just run over to Gotham.
Yeah.
We have.
But it's weird though that the loose cannon of the league is a guy who's like, concentrate and make stuff from your imagination, like your willpower. It's
throughout the story, Batman's like reminding him, "Hey, you gotta stay focused here because your constructs are gonna go."
Well, right, and it's just like
I know,
The thing is that since the power is like centered on willpower.
Oh yeah.
And then he's the most undisciplined member of the league.
Yeah.
That's it. He's at odds with himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So we have this crazy woman who still believes in Zeus. She's an Amazonian.
Well, then that's not crazy.
Right.
Oh, are you talking about Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
You.
She shows up and she's legit. She doesn't understand. She never had ice cream.
We're right.
And
Paradise Island, they don't have that.
And so
why? Because a man invented it.
That's right.
No, that's so bad. I don't even know if that's true.
But I mean, she tries ice cream and she's like, "Oh my gosh, have you had this? This is incredible." So she's learning all these new,
See, that's cool. You never get that. You never see the fish out of water story from Wonder Woman. So that's cool.
Speaking of fish out of water,
Aquaman. Hey, have you
up.
Have you thought about reading the Wonder Woman book?
I have thought about it.
When Zero Month comes,
Yeah, 0 month.
And you'll be like, damn it, now I gotta hunt all these back issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when is that? September? Is
yes,
0 month?
September.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah, so we get Aquaman. He pops up. He's like, "Yo, so you have a leader? Okay, I'll be the leader." And I was like, "Wait, what? You talk to fish? So,
what?
But
I am a king and stuff."
Yeah.
Fish.
Who else? Superman, and Green Lantern and Batman have a pretty epic fight. And
between each other?
Yeah. Well, it's Batman and Green Lantern versus Superman, and it is.
Well, why?
Because he's an alien, and aliens.
We don't like your con.
Aliens are invading Earth.
Oh.
And so he might know something about this.
Oh, that's right, because it's a dark side happening story. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And so they're like, "Hey, you know something about this," and they try to capture him.
Like what? Just because I.
Yeah.
Man.
Racism in space.
It's spacism.
Yeah.
Xenophobes.
So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's a great story. And it's continued with the
issues that we've been reading.
The issues we've been reading, and it's just escalating, and it's just I don't see an end of how great it's going to be.
Yeah. So cool.
Those are what I've read this week. Do you have anything?
The only thing that comes to mind that I've been reading, read a few more. I was telling you about some of the early '80s revival of Thunder Agents. There was a couple of different ones. I'm reading the one that John Carbonaro, the guy who owned the copyright, was putting out kind of in conjunction with Archie. They were publishing it, okay? But
they're not like hanging out.
No, it's not like Archie Andrews in the Thunder Agents. No. Thank God. No, but it's only 3 issues, and that's what I read this week.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. There's one issue. The third one has a backup story with Steve Ditko doing a No Man solo issue.
Oh.
Solo story, excuse me.
Cool.
But it's pretty cool. Thunder Agents, they thwart this alien invasion and blah de blah. I mean, it's kind of cool. Some people kind of aren't into that revival. It's a little soft.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It could be a little more. A little more adult.
Okay.
So it leans a little on the juvenile side, not like.
They were producing Archie at the same time, though, so maybe they have an audience that they were pointing to.
Well, I think it also has to do with the copyright owner was too hands-on instead of like, hey, you write comic books, you're familiar with these characters, go.
Right.
He's plotting this story and stuff. It's like, dude, could we, so I don't know. There are shortcomings, but it's not crap. I mean, it's worth checking out. If you like the Thunder Agents characters, I say read this. And then the second revival, the more serious one, that came a couple years later in the 80s, that lasted 5 great issues, plays on this continuity from this earlier story. So they're valuable for that reason. And it's good.
Okay.
I like them. Good. But,
Sean, did you read anything this week?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh, I thought there was something else, but yeah, I think that's about it. So
yeah, I think that'll wrap us up.
All right. Thanks for listening. Yeah. Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.